Hey guys, hope whoever's watching this is having an awesome day. Today, I'm going to be showing you guys how to utilize a powerful tool from Excel called PowerQuery. PowerQuery basically allows for users to complete an ETL process once. So ETL stands for extract, transform, and load. It allows you to do that process once, and then any new data that you bring in that comes in a similar format, it can automatically transform that data how you originally transformed the first set of data. And this is just a great tool for if you have a weekly sales report that you have to normalize and clean out. You get the data, make it all clean and shiny for reporting and analytical purposes. And sometimes that can be a very tedious, annoying task, and it takes some people time, whether it's a shipping report, report on all purchase orders, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of transforming of data that goes along with a lot of jobs. And this tool is super powerful and allows you to only have to clean up the data once. And from then on out, you can just refresh the street with new data that you add to it, and it'll automatically transform and format it how you originally did, which is really awesome and is a big time saver. Today, I'm specifically going to be showing you guys how to utilize this in terms of AAC data. If you're downloading AAC SOD rules or sensitive access rules, it comes in very ugly, very ugly. Let me just show you guys an example really quick. These are a couple rules I pulled for the example of this video. So this is how the data comes into Excel when you download it. You got these merged columns here, as you can see. The data doesn't look good. It's in this weird format. So basically you have to copy and paste all this into a new tab or a new sheet, clean all the data out, make it look how you want. And if you're doing this one by one, it would be a very time-consuming and annoying task, quite frankly. So with this, I'm going to show you guys a much quicker way and save you guys a lot of time and headache. So what you're going to do first is I have this Excel document open. I'm going to go to the Data tab at the top. I'm going to click this Get Data button from File. If I had an individual rule I wanted to evaluate, I would just click the From Workbook button. But since I have multiple rules I want to evaluate, I'm going to click this From Folder button. And for the example of this video, I made this AAC example data set. So I pulled two rules, two procure to pay rules relating around the AP processes. So they both pop up 1, 2 at the top here. So I'm going to click this Combine button at the bottom and combine and transform data. So this is going to take, since the data came in a similar format, it's just going to combine this data together. Evaluating the query. It's going to take a second, load up. There'll be multiple sheets sometimes on the side. Just click one of them. I'll click sheet 1. It's going to allow me to say OK, and it's going to bring me to the PowerQuery module pretty much. Once that loads, awesome. Now from here, we're just going to clean out the data to show what we want. So these top 3 rows are just showing null. They're not showing data. That's just the way it brought the data in. So I'm going to remove those. There's a bunch of different options you can do to transform and move the data. I'm not going to get too fancy here. I'm just going to show you the basics of, once again, if you're taking AAC data to learn about roles and what access they have, or trying to identify some SOD issues. You're going to click Remove Top Rows. In this case, there's 3 that I don't want. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to click 3. OK. It's going to remove those rows. Awesome. Now I have this top row. I actually want this to be my column headers. So I'm going to go to Transform, use first rows as headers, use first row as header, and boom, that brings that in. And any other fixing that you need to do after you've kind of done what you want, it's quicker, honestly, just to close and load the data. But now that I've got that all combined and transformed, we're going to close and load it. Before I do that, though, on the right side here, you'll see the applied steps. So it takes all the steps that I do. I removed the top rows, promoted new headers, made a couple changes. And so say you had a big, long process where you had to change and move a lot of the data around, delete some columns. Actually, we're also going to do that. I'm going to show you guys how to remove columns really quick, because let's see. Oh yeah, we got some columns that came in ugly. So we're going to Control click just to keep them all locked in. Column 11 doesn't have anything, so we'll remove that. Column 17 doesn't have any data. 2021, I'm gonna click remove columns. Boom, and it removed the columns. And as you can see, I clicked the remove columns, and then on this applied steps field, it showed that I removed columns. So just like a macro, it's remembering all the steps I took. So when I load new data that's in a similar format, it can just transform that data in the same manner. Finally, I'm going to click close and load. Boom, there's all my data. I don't want green, so I'm going to go up to this table design here and change the data around, get rid of that green shading. And then from there, you can clean up the data pretty quickly. It's a lot quicker than trying to copy and paste from that original format the data comes into Excel with, as I showed you guys earlier. I'm going to change this to rule ID. Boom. And then we'll just scan here. This is just another thing when you're pulling rules from AAC. These top 3 rows with each rule or rule ID, it comes in ugly for some reason. So you can just quickly filter to that. Control Shift L to get is a shortcut for filters if you guys want to know that. Just a quick way to get the filters to pop up in whatever row you're trying to get that on. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to delete these because I don't need those. And then boom, I'm going to delete this row actually too, because that's just our column headings. And now, if you guys would look, I'm going to clear this. And now I have all the data nice and clean. From this, I can make a pivot table if I want, do whatever I want with this data. It's a lot better look than what I originally showed you guys. I'll show you again really quick. Then trying to look at the data through this, that is ugly and not fun. We have to fix that, and that takes anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes if you're decent at Excel, maybe longer if you're not great with Excel. So this is great. And let's say I analyze this data, and a couple days later, there's another rule I want to evaluate, or whatever the case may be, month later, whatever that timeline is. So for that, I'm going to go to my data. I'm going to go to downloads, this AAC data model. So say I want to bring in this purge rule. It's PP194. I'm going to copy that. And this is in the same format that the original one. I just downloaded this from AAC, the AAC module in Oracle. I'm going to put it in my AAC data example folder, copy that over. Let's make sure it moved. Okay, awesome, it's there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to data, get data from file folder. You can do the same process, but a much quicker thing and reasonable thing to do is just to go to data and click this refresh button, click refresh all. And then I'm going to go here and look, PP194 was brought in. Obviously, those top 4 rows as earlier just need to be deleted really quick. I don't know why it does that, but that's how it comes in. And boom. Now, instead of having to go through that long, daunting process of cleaning out that individual Excel sheet with all my data surrounding users and roles that have access to privileges surrounding our rule set PP194, or not our rule set, but our specific rule PP194, I can just easily click that refresh button. Once again, data refresh all, and it is uploaded. So boom, guys, that's pretty much it. If any of you guys are using AAC and are very frustrated with the time it takes to download a rule or an SOD rule and clean out the data to make it visible for analyzation, this is a great way to speed up that process and save yourself a lot of time and headache. Hope you guys have an awesome day. And if you guys have any questions, please email me. It's connor.thompson, CONNOR.THOMPSON at ERPRA.net. And if that doesn't work, you can email Donna or Jeff. I believe Jeff's email is jharej@ERPRA.net. And then Donna's is either donna.curtis@ERPRA.net or dcurtis@ERPRA.net. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks, guys.